Welcome to the Bullpen Podcast.
Good evening, Echo.
Jocko and Echo.
Forever.
This is the Cole Dobbins world, and we just live in it.
Yes, that is it. My wife would agree.
We're coming to just pick the brain, get the bio, and where does it start? Where?
God, how far back you want to go?
Let's go. We go from the beginning. Where did we touch down at? Where we come in at?
Oh man, I mean, how early are we going? Are we going back to like when I started Jiu-Jitsu? You talking about like
birth?
Oh, birth. Okay,
Just
that was in
we'll
the
just run through
DCH hospital in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
T-Town?
Yeah, in T-Town, old title town. Do you know DCH stands for Druid City Hospital? Did you know that was a nickname for Tuscaloosa? It was the Druid City.
I've been to Tuscaloosa once, or maybe twice, and I never want to go back.
You're not missing anything now. I mean, back in the 90s and 2000s, it was a nice little town. But now I hate going there, too. I just go to see my family.
Where did you go to school at?
So I went to high school at a place called Hillcrest, which is in the south side of Tuscaloosa, which was a lot like Chelsea is now, but in the 90s. And then, so I went through, there was a elementary school there called Inglewood, and then Hillcrest was the middle and high school, and didn't do anything. I mean, I just grew up. I had friends in the neighborhood. I played paintball. That was my extracurricular.
Sports. Okay, that was it.
That was it, and that was a weekend gig, and I played a very competitive level of paintball up until I was like 13, from probably 12 to 13 or 12 to 15. Quit for a year and then went back and actually did some damage in growing up the ranks a little bit and played X ball in a league called Mid-South X Ball League.
Man, he got big. He got big when we were coming up. I remember that. It was really big.
Yeah, so I used to travel all over Indiana, Tennessee, Arkansas, and Georgia, and play in a little like circuit, like a NFL style, like it had a season and everything. It was really weird. I got a friend, a really close friend of mine, who actually went nearly pro at the same time. We did not know each other, and we were both from Alabama playing in the same little circle, and he played on 2 pro teams, but this LaCroix is making me so. It's the carbonation's got me fired up, but no, he played at a higher level than I did, but we knew the same people, and then I met him through Jiu-Jitsu, which is really cool. So, met
them on the same circle. So, where does the Jiu-Jitsu come in on?
Oh man,
from the paintball.
So, I did paintball for a while, and then I got into firefighting, and I was with the volunteer fire department for a long time, for about 5 years, and that was fun. I was really trying to figure out what I wanted to do with life. Man, I did storm chasing, I did firefighting, I did paintball. Joined a car club, and it was actually the car club is where I found jiu-jitsu. So, like, I wanted to fight in MMA. I mean, we're talking about, like, Chuck Liddell and Anderson Silva and Tito Ortiz. These were all the guys that were on their way. They'd already been at the pinnacle, and they were on their way out. And so I went to a car show, and there was a DJ there. It was the car club I was in was hosting a car show, and there was a DJ there named DJ Daddy. That was his name.
DJ Daddy.
DJ Daddy. Clint McJinkin. And he had a jiu-jitsu school in Tuscaloosa, and he was a blue belt, I think, at the time. And I think Kurt wasn't in Tuscaloosa running Headhunters or Cobra at the time, which was my coach that gave my black belt was Kurt. So he wasn't there yet. There was another purple belt named Brian Smith who I had not met at the time and didn't know about. And Clint is the one that I talked to, and I wanted to fight in MMA because I watched the UFC. And so I'd wrestle with my friends in my backyard on my trampoline all the time, and I'd get my tail whooped. And I didn't I was always the biggest kid, so like I didn't like losing. So I was like, I'm gonna go find this stuff for real.
Yeah.
And
that was the first gym.
Yeah, it was the first gym. It was Wolfpack Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Tuscaloosa. It was ran out of a school called Relentless Fight Center, Relentless Fighting Center.
Now, are they still around?
No.
Okay.
No. They kind of, so fast forward, I've been training for a year and, I've been training for like a year and a half or so, maybe a little less than a year and a half. And I took my first fight Won by knockout, or TKO technically. It was terrible. It was such a bad show.
Was you Cloud 9 though?
Dog, I was, dude, Deontay Wilder was there. Sean Shirk from the UFC was there.
Really?
Yeah. So, I got the interview with the newspaper, dog. Like, there's a picture, there's a cutout. I was rocking the soul patch only.
But back then, though, I mean, like, it was like,
I was 22 years old, dog. This was it. I had reached it all, man. 22 years old. I'm a white belt, and I'm fighting in a cage in the Killer Buzz Arena in a rundown mall in Tuscaloosa. Yeah.
Hometown, everything.
Yeah,
a lot of people there.
Oh, yeah.
That was a big thing, too. You know, the fights were a lot bigger back then.
Tons of people there.
Yeah.
Tons of people I knew there, which was cool. Really cool. But, dude, yeah.
That was it, the Glory. That was it, the Gladiator.
I walked out to a song called Glory by Hollywood Undead, and the opening line is, "We did it for the glory," and that's the only reason I was fighting, is because I needed to prove that I actually could do this.
Yeah.
It was wild, dude. It takes a lot of courage to get in that metal cage. They
said it never goes away. Like, I mean, the fear.
Man, I don't know.
Stuff.
I've had one other time where I was just like, my heart was like racing like that. When I fought in MMA, and then I went and did a big event as a purple belt. Fight to Win was the production. They're a big jiu-jitsu production, and it was, tell you how early on it is. They're in the 200s now on their events. It was Fight to Win Pro 10, man, that same thing. I was in it. It was in the gi. I was a purple belt. I went out there. It's on an elevated stage. There's tables all around the stage. They slap the stage. Like, it's wild. And I got thrown right out of the gate. The dude got his brown. This is the wild thing, too. Dude got his brown belt the week before.
Yeah.
Put his purple belt back on and came and competed anyway. And I still whooped his ass. Anyways. We'll go back to the storyline in a second. I'm going to bounce around, dude. I've got
we got ADHD, too.
Yeah.
Scoot in just a little bit, like on the camera.
No,
you're good. Yeah. We got the camera.
I take up the whole camera. What are you
talking about? I'm pushing it on there. All right, so go ahead.
So, yeah, Fight to Win Pro 10. It was in New Orleans. It was my first experience in New Orleans.
First of all, just if you made it through New Orleans, just living in the city, that was a win right there, dude. Listen, I don't even want to get on that. I said it's a third world country, bro. Like, I would have let.
Smells like trash.
I've been to Brazil, the ghetto slums of Brazil. But what I noticed about
the
like
favelas,
it's a clean kind of poor. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, people actually have respect and they take care of their stuff.
Yeah.
New Orleans is the bottom of the barrel. Like, I hope I never have to go there again.
Dude, it was August. It was August in New Orleans. I had to go down there twice. I had to go down there for weigh-in. No, I had to go down there for photos at a gym for the posters. Knowing I could have just taken a photo and sent it. I had no clue what I was doing. Kurt had no clue at the time. Dog drove down there like
$500 for a picture.
Yeah, for a hotel, and dude, I'm barely getting paid for this, dog. I'm like $100 if I win, and $75 if it's a win by submission.
You got 300 in the gas.
Dog, I'm a pro jiu-jitsu player now, though. Dog, I got paid for jiu-jitsu.
Can't tell you shit.
Yeah. Whole team's going down there. I'm thinking they're going for me, and they're going because it's New Orleans. We're all partying. Yeah, dude, it's nuts.
They're traveling with the team, baby.
Yeah, dude. I never had that many people go with me to an event. It was wild. Like, I've been competing in jiu-jitsu for like 7 years at that point. It was me and one or two other people, never like 20. I had no clue why we're all laid up in my coach's like parents' like room or something that they got. Like, they had like a condo or something down there. Yeah, we had like 25 people in there, dude. It was nuts. There's two bedrooms, dog.
So was the party before the fight? But were you?
I wasn't my party before the fight, but there was a lot of partying.
I was gonna say they may not even made it
after. Yeah. I thought we weren't, dude. I lost my mind on that.
So how did it go? How did the?
So we got in the. I got up there. I was walking out, and there's a catwalk to walk out, and there's a big jumbotron behind you that they're projecting like whatever main camera's on. And dude, it's a huge jumbotron is what it felt like.
What year is this?
Oh God, 2016 maybe 2017. So I get out there. This dude's name's Andrew, by the way, the guy that I went against. I don't know why I remember his name, but he throws me. Big throw. He lands inside top side control, and he's cross-facing the fire out of me. And I'm looking at that jumbotron, and the camera is right in the corner looking at my face, and I see myself on this screen. I go,
You're like looking at yourself.
I'm looking at myself. And dude, it was the most surreal moment of my life. Because I'm looking at him, I'm getting my ass beat right now. Like, this is bad.
Yeah.
Like, I look terrible. And I was like, I got to change this. Like, I got to change this. And I bailed out. I got out from side control. I got back to guard. I started climbing to his back from guard. And we're in the gi. So, like, everything's, like, heavy friction. And I get to his back. He tripods up, so his hands are on the floor. His legs are straight. He's trying to shake me off. And I fall off on an arm bar and just straighten that thing as hard as I could and ended up winning. I slapped the mats, dude.
It's quick?
Yeah.
So quick?
Yeah, it was like probably 2 or 3 minute match. It was a little bit stalling on the standing. And then he got the throw. And after we hit the ground, it was pretty quick. So it was wild, man.
And what weight were we doing at 216?
Oh, in 2016, I was... It's probably like a 225 match.
Are you still doing MMA in the
No,
mix?
I only had one MMA fight.
Oh,
I fought that at 185, by the way. I was 240 pounds when I started jiu-jitsu.
No.
240 pounds. Fat, chunky kid from high school, dog.
Just come off.
Oh, man, dude. I'm going to get distracted here, but I want to find...
The people at home need to see this.
Dude, I got to find my senior pictures, man. They're rough, dog.
So I didn't know. So what year did you start age-wise? I didn't get
21
that.
is when I started jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, 21.
I started in August of 2011. So we're just over 13 years in now at this point. Like currently, but yeah.
At the time.
At the time it was a lot. Like it was wild. I don't know, dude. There's so much. There was no, I'm gonna get distracted if I pull my phone out and start looking for those pictures. I'll find them in a little while.
Yeah. So where do you want to go from here? So 16.
Well, so we're at the fight, right? And I graduate high school, right? So I told you guys I did firefighting for a short time. 21, I ran into the DJ Daddy at the No Limit Customs car show.
Now, what kind of cars, real quick, we're going to get sidetracked. What kind of car club? Are we talking rice burners?
No. We're talking classics. I didn't have anything. I drove a Nissan Altima with a
just
V6
was in it, though?
Yeah.
So how do they let you in if you don't have a car?
I don't know. I was just hanging out, dude. I was a groupie. We'll call it what it is. I was a car club groupie. The guys were really
I've never
cool.
heard of this. I've never heard of this.
The guys were really cool. Like the owner of the club, he actually had good intent. Like he would use the money from the events that he would put on to buy like a Secret Santa thing for a family.
Okay, so they're doing so
it was a big charity thing.
like
but I was trying to figure out where I was going with life.
Yeah,
man.
so
like,
these are older people, they
were my dad's age.
You're just hanging out in these.
I'm 19 years old with
he's
got a 57 Mercury. He got a 57 Mercury or whatever hanging there.
This is
dude.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Russell was a big part of my life, dude. Shout out to Russell Estes. He just stomped a mud hole in cancer. So
good.
Yeah, I keep up with him a lot. Dude, his kids were like 7 and 8 years old whenever I met him, and I was in that car club, and now they're graduating college and high school. So
yeah.
But yeah, met Clint, aka DJ Daddy, at the car club. Ended up dropping out of the car club and dropping the volunteer firefighter work that I was doing at the time because I couldn't get hired on at a fire department. It's so political, and I was trying so hard. Ended up working as a bank teller and training jiu-jitsu, and then got a chance to jump into IT from the bank teller position at that same bank, and just stayed training. My life revolved around training.
I remember you telling me about some of the training when I first started. So tell me about like how it. When you first started off, you was talking about no air conditioning, like.
Oh man! So
you were telling me about the
the first
situation.
gym, when we were at Relentless Training Center, it was wrestling mats, and they had a little small like 10 by 10 cage. Dude, I got a scar on my back from where I was rolling one day, and I rolled into the steel stairs. They're not like the stairs that you see on like WWE. It laid my back open. But yeah, I started there. It was a small class. About 6 weeks into training, I had my training with my first black belt. They had a seminar with a black belt out of South Florida, out of Sarasota. Charles Dos Anjos was his name. And I remember, you'll love this. I remember asking my coach at the time, Clint, and I was like, since he's coming in town and we don't get to see him a lot, I'm 6 weeks into jiu-jitsu. You think I should just go ahead and test for my blue belt? Because they did testing at that in that affiliation.
Okay.
Dude, he cackled. He cackled at me. I was like, no, don't work that way. It was the most white belt thing I did.
Yeah.
And you know, I was fortunate I got to train with him a lot because I couldn't get enough of it. I trained as much as I could. I was 6-7 days a week.
Yeah.
I'd roll and just get whooped and just get up and do it again, dude. And then Clint took a job in Colorado and just moved and handed me the keys.
Bro, so what is going through your mind? Because obviously, you know, when you have a coach like that, you know, or
I mean, he was my closest friend.
That's
at the
what
time,
I mean.
dude,
you know, it's the mentor. It's how you know. I mean, and he was a what belt? He was a purple.
He was a purple belt at this point.
Yeah.
And I was a white belt. He came back about 3 weeks later, gave me and another girl that was training there that we'd both started pretty much at the same time, gave us both our blue belts, and
bro, so
never saw him again.
How many people's training at this time?
Dude, we might have had 20 students at this school, and I was running a kids program. I was a white belt.
And you were the
I was
best.
teaching as
you were
a
the
white
second.
belt.
You were the second.
Yeah, I guess so.
Second in line.
Dog. I guess
but it
so.
has come a long ways. A lot of people don't understand that too as well. I mean, I'm just getting into this.
There was a
transition, like you said, a black belt was just rare.
In Birmingham, right?
Yeah.
There was one black belt in Birmingham, I think, at the time. The amount of black belts in all of Alabama were less than 5, maybe less than 3.
Now, and I've talked to people. They're not all black belts aren't created equally, right?
No, not at all.
Now, even back then,
we need to take a time for a second, a little time out for LaCroix, right?
Do we need to? So, was it like that back then, or did you still have some? Most of them were pretty legitimate back then, or what's your views? And obviously, that's an opinion. I want to know.
It didn't matter because if a purple belt walked in the room,
that was like a black belt.
That dude was a demigod. That was a demigod walking among men. I'm serious.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, for sure.
Like it was a different level of respect that you had for. I mean, dude, we're all training the gi. Like, what is no gi?
Really?
Like,
okay, so this is new for me.
Yeah,
so,
we were all
so what
in
year
the
is that?
gi.
What year is no gi?
2011, 2012, 2013, 2014. I'm doing mostly up to 2012 or 2013. I'm doing mostly gi, if not gi only.
Yeah.
And then whenever I moved over to head, when Clint moved away, and I ran the gym for like 6 or 8 months, and
by the way, just a short. Tell me about that 6-8 months. Like, how did that go? As far as
stressful.
Yeah,
it
for
was
sure.
Stressful because I didn't know what I was doing.
Absolutely.
So probably a biggest growth factor of my jiu-jitsu, by the way, because I downloaded on my iPad. I downloaded like as many apps as I could that were related to jiu-jitsu.
Your phone's shutting down,
dude. I mean, I probably spent 9 hours a day studying.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a bank teller, so I'd spend my entire lunch studying. If it was a dead day at work, like my phone's out, I'm studying what I'm teaching, and I would go teach. I'm a white belt, dude.
Yeah.
And they did stripes there, so I'm a 3-stripe white belt, and I'm out here like trying to regurgitate spider guard and lasso guard and all these different like complex guards and positions and attacks to these other white belts that have no clue what they're doing either.
Yeah, you could have got away with anything.
Yeah. And dude, it was nuts. And then I got my blue belt, and then we stayed there for a little longer, and then we shut it down, and I moved to Headhunters, which is where I ran into Kurt, which is my current coach.
And that's in Tuscaloosa as well?
Yeah, that was an MMA school in Tuscaloosa, and they trained hard, and it was very even. 2 nights of gi, 2 nights of no gi. Yeah. And then, I don't remember if we had open mats at the time, but we didn't train a whole lot on the weekends.
Eye-opening when you went there, like, versus...
Yeah, I didn't need a blue belt, Chief.
Yeah.
I didn't need a blue belt. Kurt and I had a conversation one time, and it went along the lines of, hey, Cole, because I think I asked him how I was doing, and he was like, you weren't a blue belt when you showed up. He said, but you are now.
Yeah. And how long was that in?
God, dude, I'd probably been there a year.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was eye opening. It was nuts. It's so weird because I see people like that. Like I know of a purple belt that went through a very similar situation where his school didn't belt him appropriately, and he competes a lot, and he's getting there now to where he's almost ready for a purple belt. But he's been wearing that purple belt for a year or more.
Yeah.
And I hate it, dude. I want to help that dude out a ton, and I try to when I see him. But
yeah,
that's a hard conversation to have.
Yeah.
It was hard to hear
Yeah, for sure.
From Kurt whenever he had that conversation with me. So, but yeah, so I crept over to Headhunters, took my entire student base over there, which was all of like 7 or 8 people at this point, and
Did any of them stay with you? I remember we showed
yeah,
the picture
yeah,
of that.
dude. Yeah,
They still training
yeah.
and
We
stuff?
had not now, but I think Megan was the last one, and
Okay.
she was the girl that got the blue belt with me, and I don't think she trains much anymore. I'm trying to think of anybody that might still train that was around then. I don't think so. I think they're all gone. I think they're all alive. God, I shouldn't say that. They're all alive, but
They're pretty much might as well be dead.
Yeah, yeah. You're dead to me if you don't train. No, I'm kidding.
So you're with Kurt.
Yeah, so we're at Headhunters, and then there was a big falling out between the owner of Headhunters and Kurt, and so we ended up moving out of Headhunters. I'm 6 months into training at Headhunters, and we're moving out of Headhunters and into 15th Street, which was the first Cobra of Tuscaloosa.
Okay.
Yeah. The Jiu-Jitsu in Headhunters was Cobra Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but we were in Headhunters, the gym. So, but yeah, dude, that's the story. We make it to 15th Street in probably 2014 or 2015. Dude, I think we're coming up on a decade of Cobra Tuscaloosa.
And so you're you're competing the whole time. I know you're competing like a madman.
Yeah,
right?
dude. Every 2 or 3 months at minimum. 1 year I did 13 in 1 year, and that was wild to me to do that many. But there wasn't a whole lot around.
That's right. That was a big deal. It's not like every weekend like it is
the
now.
first
You go-
IBJJF, which is the big federation.
So
the
you were
first
hitting all of
IBJJF Atlanta was in 2012. I was there. I have the T-shirt still.
Yeah. So you were hitting all of them.
Yeah, we was hitting as many as we can. It was all Nagas, and then there was a couple of local tournaments that kind of popped up out of Alabama that we would do. And yeah, dude, we just travel and compete. And then the AGF started moving east, and I spent a lot of time competing for AGF, American Grappling Federation. They're by far the best tournament series out there still. As far as like efficiency in training, or efficiency in the competing, efficiency in the and just how the tournaments ran, and cleanliness, and just overall staffing and everything. I think AGF's the tippity top.
Now, give me the progress of so your blue belt, you're competing. When do we get the purple belt? So walk me through that.
Probably, I think. Don't quote me on this. I'd have to go back and look, but I think 2016 is. And no, because I was a brown belt in 2018, so it had to have been 2014. Let's see. 2011. Let's see. 2012.
Started in 11.
I started in 2011. November 2012, I got my blue belt. So it would have had to be either late 2014 or early 2015. I got my purple belt, and then I spent a long time at blue and purple belt, and I did the majority of my competing at blue and purple belt, and then at brown belt, I did one competition.
Really?
And then had to have surgery on my shoulder.
And that was what year?
That was 2017 is when I had surgery. So it would have been I did an IBJJF in 2017. I had surgery. I did an AGF 10 day, or not AGF. I did a local tournament 10 days before my surgery. And then had surgery, was out from November till March, came back, and I think I competed at brown belt until August. Let's see. I think my last competition at brown belt was in August, where we went to Vegas, and I won gold in no-gi and bronze in gi.
And what federation is that?
That was the IBJJF.
Yeah.
We were going to Masters Worlds for Kurt, but I was not of age to compete at the Masters level. That's 30 and above.
Yeah.
And I was a ripe old 27-year-old at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's 2017. And then.
Would you say it's one of the highest?
Yeah, dude, I got to go to the Hoover Dam. I was hanging out with Kurt.
When they go,
it was we won gold. I'm holding my medals over the Hoover Dam. You know, he and I are hanging out. Like, dude, I'm getting to spend time with this cat, and he's been one of the biggest influences of my life.
Yeah. How did he do?
Not great.
Yeah.
He didn't compete a lot. I think he lost out first round, or he won one, lost one. He had just started competing again, and not just like it was his third or fourth tournament at black belt. So, and he had been a black belt for 6 years or 4 years at that point, 4 or 5 years. So yeah, he. So where we at? We Masters Worlds. I did the Vegas Open.
We're brown belt right now.
Yeah, we're brown belt. And then the following January, January 9th, 2019, I got my black belt. So we're coming up on January 9th will be 6 years, so I'll get my second degree. And for those of you guys that don't know,
I didn't know this.
the black belt,
so,
the black belt stripes are
so you
based
got
off
your black belt
active
in 8
time.
years, and then you got now you're getting the
So 8 years, 7.5, 7 3/4, something like that. Which was the goal. Like that's why I trained so hard, is because I wanted that black belt and I wanted it as quick as I could get it.
Which is very fast compared to most, right?
Yeah. The average time is 10 to 12 years, 8 to 10 years, something like that. 8 to 12 years. So I tried very quickly.
Yeah.
Like there was a lot of competing, a lot of training, a lot of hard training. My body pays for it now. So not smart training, not smart training at all, but hard training. So yeah, the headhunters.
We got the ears to prove it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Escape enough jokes and your ears will get eaten up. So the training room, we rabbit holed so far. I just remembered where we started at. You were asking about the intensity of the room and like the
I remember you telling about
Headhunters was like 20 or 30 foot ceilings in a warehouse in Tuscaloosa, and that's where I spent most of the time. And it had heaters, but they were like space heaters. It was like if you took this box and put it up there and expected it to be a heater. It was so intense. In the winter, it was freezing cold, and we would do more gi classes because it was cold. How's that LaCroix treating you?
That's good. Yeah. This
Hits
pause for the calls.
Yeah, pause for the calls. It's lime.
Cilantro.
Yeah, cilantro lime. I'm over here with the plum. You did me wrong with the plum.
I did.
So yeah, they had like huge ceilings and small heaters, and in the summer in August, we'd do more no gi than gi, and man, the mats were covered. I mean, our minimum training time as far as roll rounds at that time was 7 10-minute rounds. Right?
Yeah,
we do like 6 minute rounds at the gym right now on an average night. You know what I'm saying, right? Like Kurt
and
would
by
teach
the way,
for
they're too much.
Yeah.
That's too much.
That's too much. Too much. Kurt would. Dude, it was a hard room. It was a tough room. We had Jonathan Roberts in there and Riley Matheson, who was a buddy of mine. We got our black belts together. But Jonathan Roberts is probably the best competitor ever come out of there.
Really?
J Rob, the elbow genie, right from the PGF. He was in that room, and dude, we were beating the fire out of each other, dude. It was
crazy to look back at what you used to do.
Dude,
right?
that kind of room doesn't exist anymore, dog. I mean, it's college kids. Yeah. It's college kids in a room
just
and
beating each other up,
just beating the fire out of each other. You got 35-year-old Kurt, in this room full of college kids. Like I'm almost 35. Like I couldn't handle that room right now. I mean, it's tough, dude. It's tough. Your body wears down. So yeah. So that's the story, dude. That's the jiu-jitsu story of the Lane getting into jiu-jitsu recently, man.
There's some more.
There is some more, dude. It's been when I moved out of Tuscaloosa. So I wanted to stay with Kurt until I got my black belt, and then I wanted to go find and
I meant to ask this. So I've talked to you before about this. I guess this segues into here. When did you know? Hey, listen, I'm gonna make my own gym, because I know you said you told your dad or you told everybody. Like when did it hit? It's like I'm doing this.
Dog.
I mean, obviously you had it at
white belt. I knew I wanted to do that, dog. I'm serious. At white belt, like I really like.
You were doing it.
Yeah,
kinda,
I
right?
I was. Yeah. I gave that full $1,000 to buy into that gym when we had to move out of Relentless Training Center because the other owner took the mats and shut the system down, and we had to go spin up our own place.
Real quick, and you learn more lessons just by doing that than anything else, just by throwing it on top of it.
I think initially I learned how much studying could help growth in jiu-jitsu. I at the end of the day, I was building bad habits that I was going to end up having to break later on.
For sure.
But yeah, I used to do seminars all the time, like go to seminars to try to learn how to teach better. And I went to a lot of seminars, dude. I spent thousands of dollars at seminars. And one in particular, so just to give you guys a kind of like an idea of how this is laid out, there's a dude out in Texas named Eddie. He owns Cobra. And then there's Kurt, who is belted under Eddie, and then I'm belted under Kurt, right? So Kurt owns Cobra in Tuscaloosa, and then I own Cobra in Chelsea. And
we should have started that off by this. But
probably, but
yeah. Sorry.
Rewind and start over. Yeah. You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. Welcome to my crazy mind, right? filing cabinets.
Well, your
are always
interviewer's
full all
not
day.
doing a great job here. It's the
You're
show,
doing a
but
fantastic job. This is the Ramble podcast. I hope you're ready.
The ADHD. Yeah.
Somebody bring us an Adderall. Anyways, now I flat lost where we were.
All right, so listen. We even could start right here. Listen, so you're my coach. I was in Silicaga for a little bit, and
Poor soul.
so Josh Burnett. I started talking to him. He's the only person I know that really trains, right?
Yeah.
And
Josh
by
and
the way,
Chase.
your
Childersburg.
biggest fan on the planet is Josh Burnett.
Really?
100%. Listen, he was
Man.
like, he was
tell
all
you
for.
stories about
He loves
Josh,
Cobra.
man. Yeah.
I don't know if it's just a Cobra thing or a Cole thing, but he was just like, bro, quit wasting your time. Get up there.
Yeah.
Cole's a real black belt. He's a real black belt. That's what he
Yeah.
kept saying. So,
Josh could do it,
anyways,
man.
he just kept like, he pretty much cussed me out a few times, like, go up there. So finally
He
broke
got
in there.
hostile trying to get people
Yeah,
to come up.
man.
He's from that same era of. He was at a different gym. He was at Childersburg MMA at the time with Chase Horton and James Shrigley, and man, he knows. He was in that same tough warehouse. Like, you're dealing with the weather.
Yeah.
Like, what is no-gi kind of thing. Like none of us really knew at the time, like, how prevalent no-gi would end up being. But
He's Cobra to the core. I will say
dude,
that. He is Cobra to the core.
He moved to Tuscaloosa. I don't remember why he moved to Tuscaloosa, but he was in Tuscaloosa and he was training with us. And, dude, he was coming down on the weekends. And he just wanted to train, and I guess they weren't doing a whole lot of training up here at the time, and so he just texted me, and I'd go open. I had a key to the gym, so I'd go open the gym, and he and I'd train for 3-4 hours. Yeah. And he was a brown belt, and I was a purple belt or a blue belt at the time. Whenever I first met him, and he beat the fire out of me. We'd train, we have a good time. I mean, he and I were both about 70 pounds lighter at the time. We both gained a ton of weight, and he's lost his again. Yeah. But he he would beat the fire out of me, and we'd train hard. There's selfies of us training hard, and him, Josh makes his face, blue steel.
Do it.
I can't do it, dog. I can't do it. he's right behind Ben Stiller on that. Yeah, there you go. You're there. You're on it all day. You're on it. That's awesome, dude. But yeah. So we trained really, really hard. And yeah, had a good time, dude. Yeah. So when I opened up, he was a big, big supporter of my school.
He needs to be your sales guy, like
whoever.
for
Sure,
just
he
through
is
the
a good
door.
salesman. Yeah. Well, he's close. He grew up close to where my school's at, like 30 minutes away. So like he's trying to push everybody.
Yeah.
His cousin trains with me.
Yeah.
He's trying to push everybody to me.
Sure.
He wants legit jiu-jitsu to be close to Childersburg where he grew up. So I get it. I do get it. But yeah. So bouncing back again when we get there. No, I still don't have it. I was trying to figure out why we went to Eddie earlier.
So we were going to like when you knew you wanted to.
Oh, that's what it was. Thank you. Thank you.
When you knew you wanted to do it, I remember you telling me like you knew from day one this is what you wanted to do.
Yeah, I remember what story I was going to tell you. So I'm out in Texas at a seminar with at Eddie's school, but it was with a big jiu-jitsu black belt named Bushesha. That's his nickname. Marcus Almeida is his name, and he was a 10-time jiu-jitsu world champion and a 1 or 2-time ADCC champion at the time. And so we went to do a seminar with him, and while I'm out there, we go to a bar called Midway Ice House, and so we're all sitting around. Eddie's playing the ukulele, like he's playing Happy Birthday for somebody, like just whips the ukulele out. I had no clue he could play it.
Front pocket.
Yeah, dude, I don't know where it came from. He's playing songs. We're all dancing, having a good time. Watching Brazil versus Portugal in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Right? So we're all having a blast. And we're sitting there in between whatever events were going on. And Eddie's like, Cole, I'm a blue belt. Cole, you're going to open a Cobra. Dude, I'm beer in hand or whatever. I'm like, yeah, okay. Right? But he called it. Right? I talk to him almost every week at this point. But he nailed it right on the head. And I knew I wanted to open a school at white belt and blue belt. I didn't know what I was going to open, what kind of school. I had a craving for a bigger affiliation for a long time, and ended up joining one whose colors are red. And I'm not going to try my hardest not to badmouth them. It might happen, but I'm going to try so hard
Hey,
not
listen,
to.
I mean, that's how we do it, you know?
Dude, I'm a firm believer in the occult.
Jordan Peterson says, if you have something to say, silence is a lie, and we don't lie here. So
Wow, that's strong.
Listen, bro,
I know you like
know
posting Jordan Peterson.
Yeah. So I mean, I know what you're saying, but you gotta.
Their direct motive is quantity over quality because it's a program built to it's a program built to make money, and it's really good at that. Really good at that. And I've always been very pure about jiu-jitsu.
And I will say this, and I should have introduced with this with Cole and me when I first come in. I can't thank you enough about how open you were. No weird vibes about like
gotta only buy my gi.
Listen, man, like, and I know we're joking about it, but seriously, I mean, you can feel, the energy you guys got and why you do it. It's 100%. You love what you do. You eat, sleep, breathe, wake up again and do it again. That's it. And it shows, and anybody that gets around you knows that. So
yeah, I love jiu-jitsu, dude.
I don't know why people, and obviously, most people are close to a school, so they go to that school because it's close or whatever. Yeah. But if you ever do shop around and get around people, like go to different schools and talk to the guys, because you're gonna feel you can't fake a frequency. I always say this.
Yeah.
And as soon as you walk in, if the first, you can tell in 10 seconds if somebody's for real or not.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Like
if they're trying to pull out the contract and get you to do whatever.
And some people with legit schools still have contracts. But I'm gonna look at you guys for a second. I'm gonna look you right in your eyes and tell you this: that if you're wanting to start jiu-jitsu, try every gym in your area, and you're looking for community first, right? If you get in there and they're telling you that your prices are going to change if you don't sign up today, then their first drive is money, and that's not what it's about. So you go in there, and if you feel like you're at home and these guys love on you and try to make you feel good and try to help you grow, that's the school you want to be at, right? That's the jiu-jitsu place you want to go to. But if you walk in and they're like, hey, you're going to miss this deal your first day, and you just did your trial class, and you're beat up and you're exhausted because you just got your tail whooped for an hour, right? And if you didn't, then you're in the wrong place too. But that's a whole different story. You watch those red flags, right? Your big red flags. If they try to get you to sign up your first day, right? Just right out of the gate, they're hitting you with the, hey, you're going to lose your $500 discount for extra gear, right? That's a huge red flag, right? Huge red flag. Community first, for sure.
100%.
For sure. So, yeah. So, sorry, guys.
Tell us how you really feel about it.
Dog. No, don't start me, man.
No, listen, hey, by the way, I didn't know this, right?
Yeah. No one does. Dude.
I'll say this much. Yeah, I'll say this
People
much.
are ignorant about jiu-jitsu in Alabama, and that's not a bad thing. It's just
no, 100%.
It's an education thing, right?
And this is what I was, you don't realize, too, because you've been so into it. You don't realize what everybody outside looks like. And
yeah, you told me about this.
For sure. I really coached you right when I walked in. I was like, listen, I'm pattern recognizing things, and I was like, hey, guys, number one, you don't realize how insecure other people are that don't do this. You really don't, because you've lived this, and you just think like, because you're not a bad guy.
Friends,
that's right. You're not a bad guy. You're not trying to bash everybody's head in, but you could. And so everybody's kind of looking at that like it's a weird thing. And then you don't realize once you get in the door, it's like, what it really is. And you're trying to get people to experience it. And obviously it's not for everybody, right? I mean, weak people are weak people that don't want it. But there's a lot of people out there.
It's for everybody to start.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then after a few months, it's for a select group of people. And that's just the harsh reality that it is, right?
But for kids, so my motive's number one. I never want to compete. I never want to get a black belt, or I don't even want to get a blue belt. I want to do it for my kids, right?
Yeah.
There is a level of confidence that kids get that they're not going to get from throwing any balls. They're not going to get it from any other kind of sport in high school. Maybe wrestling. Fleroy, shout out.
You're gonna trigger me on something else. About the ball sports.
I will say this, and so that's where I'm at. Nothing wrong with baseball. Nothing wrong with blah blah blah.
Yes, there is.
What I will say is, you're not.
Money came first. That's what's wrong with ball
sports. You got to do this.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm doing it for my girls. And I'm not trying to get them to do anything. I just want them to be able to stay plugged in.
But one of them trains, right?
That's right. Yeah.
What have you seen from her?
It's night and day.
You think so?
No, 100%.
I got another one like that. It's a heavier set kid that didn't want to do anything for a while, and I somehow convinced him to train because his whole family trains, and I asked them recently how he was doing,
100%.
and dude, they were like night and day. Like, he's more active around the house. He's doing better. Like,
everybody needs this, dude. Everybody needs this.
I don't know how to explain it. It sounds so culty, dude. It's a tribal group. I mean, it's a tribal group, but but people crave that kind of thing, and it's always about. Eddie said it best. It's about making people. They come through that door and they have an experience, and they're better when they leave. 100%. And that's the whole point of it is to help people out and make them better. This is their therapy, right? This keeps them from having to go talk to a doctor and get on medication and have issues like this. That keeps you grounded. It helps your mental health.
100%.
You know, you
that's all I'm about. Yeah, 100%.
And dude, it's just about having a group of people that want to help each other get better. Not just at jiu-jitsu, but in life.
I'll say this. So I started real quick on me,
I'm going to have to go for a second, Chief.
Yeah. I was dealing with anxiety and depression and all this stuff. And, of course,
no wonder it was so difficult for you to get in the gym for the first time.
So I come through, started working out, eating better. Man, it cured me like overnight, right? Because I hadn't been physically working out, building muscle. And I met a black belt in that community as well. Okay. And started talking to him. And, we're really good friends. We're talking back and forth, and he was one day he was like kind of testing me. He was like, "Elaine, what you gonna do if somebody slaps you or whatever or something?" I forgot what he said. I said, I'm gonna shoot him. He says, well, listen,
go to jail, dog.
Well, he said you can't shoot everybody. He said some people need slapped. And so, anyways, he called me out on it. So I was avoiding it, and I was like, man, I'll go try it out. Anyways, tried it out. Totally changed the way I look at everything. So look, man, first class for me. Like I can talk because I'm experienced. I was confident. I had my own business. I was in shape, had a six-pack, like all this, right?
I've seen how many pull-ups you can do.
Yeah, so listen, man, just from that first day going in there, you just look at everything different.
This is the before picture, right?
You look
like before. That's the after picture.
You look at everything different. You look at everybody different. You're not weird. I just say you're not weird anymore. It's not that I can go take anybody. It's just like you're not weird around.
You have
people.
A healthy ego.
Yeah,
you have a healthy ego.
You just understand things
in a
situational awareness,
manner, right?
You can't.
There's ego in jiu-jitsu. Don't ever let anybody tell you there's no ego in jiu-jitsu. There's a lot of ego in jiu-jitsu. But it keeps you grounded in a sense of you. There's always somebody out there that can beat you up. There's always somebody that can whoop your ass, and it doesn't matter who it is, right? So you become more aware, I guess, of that than anything, right? I think that's huge.
Just not as weird. I mean, like I can just feel how I look at things, and look, I don't train max once a week. When I'm going heavy, it's once a week. But listen, man, I'm telling you, it just keeps me grounded. Man. Love, love the community there, love the people there. Honestly, like everybody there
for sure. And any Cobra you ever go to is like the same, right?
Yeah,
and it's not the same because we enforce some weird code.
That's why, though, and you got a good relationship. The same goal, right? And you got a good relationship with some of the other gyms there, which is in the area, which is cool. And Cole's always, I'll say this, always excited about new people coming in and training, new black belts coming in, where I think some other schools don't want other black belts coming from anywhere else.
I don't think you're wrong there. I think that's a fair statement.
And you're just always excited for anybody coming in, new people training.
I like to see people be successful. Yeah. I was having a conversation. So, I mean, obviously I had a very competitive career. I've probably done over 100 competitions in my jiu-jitsu career, and I've probably had over 1,000 matches. And I get more joy right now. Like I'm struggling to want to compete again for myself, right? And I get more joy out of seeing my students compete.
100%,
right? Seeing Anna the same boat, and Cody and all these high success competitors that I've produced. I love seeing their success, and I think that's a big thing in jiu-jitsu is you found a good coach or a good school when everybody celebrates other people's successes.
And it's like that.
I think that's a big deal. When you're not celebrating other people's successes, right? That's what made me think of that is we were talking about the other schools, right? Because we had 3 schools pop up about the same time, and we're all within our first two or 3 years of opening. Me, 10th Planet, and Ulm, right? And dude, I cheer for those guys.
Yeah, I got a good relationship
every day.
there too.
Yeah, I love those guys. Love those guys. But like I cheer for those guys, right? I support those guys and love those guys to death. But I want them to be just as successful as I want to be successful, right? And it's the same for my students, right? I want their successes. I get that. That's my joy. Yeah. I love jiu-jitsu, but the joy I get is from help building these other people up. So I think that's my big prime motivator for sure.
And I'm going to plug in on this. This kind of goes as far as just, I guess, the philosophy side of things, the scarcity mindset, which I've learned a lot about.
What is that?
So
scarcity mindset. I've never heard that.
Scarcity mindset, where okay, so, you know, everybody, hey, listen, I don't want this school to do good. Hey, I want to keep everybody here.
Oh, over controlling.
Scarcity. So they're worried that if somebody's going to go here, where you don't realize
I call that an insecurity, Chief.
Yeah, but that's 100%. Well, it's poor. Why poor people stay poor, obviously.
Okay.
They don't want to help. They don't want to help other people, right? So when you help other people, for instance, in my business, or I got a guy with me now that's a very successful
Burger Fit, by the way. That's his business, Burger Fit.
He's got an industry. He's a millionaire. He's a millionaire, and he makes some months $1 million a month. And he talks about other people. He built it from the bottom.
Okay.
Like, he started from the bottom, and he was explaining, like, you know, when he got into business, a lot of guys wouldn't want to help him and stuff, and he just learned that, you know, when you start helping your other competition, even around you. He just talked about how much quicker you grow. And for instance, when he was smaller, he finally had a guy that was bigger than him that give him some of the work that he wasn't going to do anyways.
Yeah.
And then he grew to where he was giving him work and subbing out of him, where this guy's making way more money because he can throw the other smaller stuff down. Just for instance, if you got somebody that goes to the 10th planet and his cousin he's got 10 family members that live in Chelsea, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So those guys not going to drive up there, but because he started jiu-jitsu or you helped him there, he's got 10 people that's coming to Chelsea.
Yeah.
Like literally that's how it grows whenever people but everybody's so scared and it's like
there's
if you're going for jiu-jitsu, it's good for everybody. And people just say that.
There's enough people in Birmingham for us all to
well, what I'm saying is, like, in Chelsea, like, what percentage of the Chelsea population does it? 0.00001%.
Yeah, you're spot on.
That's what I'm saying.
I just want 200 or 300 people. Dog.
That's
I
right.
I don't need all 15,000 people to live in Chelsea.
And
I mean, I'd love to have them, but I don't have the space.
That's how it is with, like, even getting in shape and what I'm doing. Like, I want anybody to do it.
I
want everybody to do it. I'm not for everybody. This is another thing too.
100%.
People don't listen. I tell people I understand why people don't like me. I'm different. I'm like Flearoy. You know, you either love me or you don't like me.
Flearoy's my wrestling coach. Flearoy Brown, baddest man in town, right?
So it's one of those things. You like it or you don't.
I'm an aphrodisiac. He's got 100 names.
That's it. The white trash superstar.
That's it.
That's it.
Air horn for Flearoy's name every time it comes on. Which one is it? Oh God, that's not Flearoy's. That's you say Cole or something. Then you hit the square. There it is.
But yeah, that's what I don't understand why everybody's so scarcity mindset. You know.
Dude, it's
you're doing a good job of what y'all were doing.
Yeah, I had a kind of following up on that. Whenever we first opened, I had a line that I would use to, and I didn't really want to use it to sell people, but that's what it was. It was a line to sell people, and it was, hey, I give you a week trial, right? You have 7 days to train as much as you want to. You come to every class, you know. It's at the end of 7 days. Let's talk about if you want to sign up or not. And if you feel like this place is not for you, or you didn't like the training, you didn't, right? Be honest with me.
Get some feedback.
Give me feedback because I want to know.
I'm trying to grow a business
I'll
here.
personally find another gym that you'll enjoy to train at.
And
That's my goal, right? Yeah,
and he means that.
If you wanted more kickboxing and you didn't like jiu-jitsu, I'll find you a place, right? You know, and I'll go in there with you if I know them, and I'll give you a good heads up and get you situated. If it was jiu-jitsu and you just didn't like our style of jiu-jitsu, you want something a little slower pace, hey, I'll find you a place, dude. Let's go. All right? But train, right?
Yeah.
Because usually even if you train, you'll find community, even if it's a rough gym that maybe isn't community-minded, right?
You still got somebody in there, right?
You're going to build a community of some sort, right? There's a gym close by that has a really good lunch class, close to my gym.
Yeah.
And it's the one I used to teach at, and their group there at that lunch class
got a good
group, they live on each other. Like they help each other out, and they look after each other. Even if the gym is not that kind of mindset, you know what I'm saying? So you could still build the community. But yeah.
Where are we going next?
Man, I don't know. That's wild. You want to start with the gym opening?
Yeah, gym opening. So,
dude, I'm surprised you hadn't brought out the controversial stuff on Instagram
listen,
from years ago. I know you want to. I was like, man, when's he gonna bring Frank up, dog?
Well, you got to open the gym first.
Yeah, dude, you're right. So let's go back to the timeline then. You know, I moved to Birmingham in 2020. So 2019, I got a job in Birmingham, and I was driving from Tuscaloosa to Birmingham every day. That was rough. And then 2020,
COVIDs.
Yeah, COVID. Yeah,
COVIDs.
The vid. The Rona. Yeah. So that's wild. So Anna and I ended up we were dating at the time. We ended up moving to Birmingham together. I was in Gardendale. 2020, it was February of 2020 is when we moved. And then you had COVID shut everything down. And I didn't have anywhere to train. Right? I mean, in 2020, it was terrifying because you didn't think you could drive on the interstate or you'd get pulled over and arrested, right? Like, that's what it felt like.
It really was. It was. And I love
like.
how people's like, oh, no, it wasn't that. Like, nobody knew.
Hindsight, it wasn't that
No,
serious,
for sure.
Right? Like,
yeah.
But
you didn't know what was going on.
It's terrifying. I didn't know if I could get on 60. I didn't know if I'd see my parents again. Like, dude, it's wild. Like, you never express it, but like, dude, we're all walking around Publix like this, like stay 100 feet from the closest person, right? While we're all touching it. Like, dude, there was so much chaos. Let alone jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah,
like,
so
you
nowhere to train.
So I started trying to scope out places in Gardendale that would train under the radar, and found one. I went twice, and just, dude, I was so out of shape in COVID. I hadn't trained much. And then I ended up getting a garage group together in McCalla, and we'd do weekend training there. And then I had another friend in Trussville that would do training, but I'm driving from Gardendale to Trussville to train twice a week maybe. And it was finicky because he works in the medical industry, so like he would have to shut down if somebody actually contracted COVID. He was real like edgy about it. So dude, I'm floating around, and that's how I ended up down in Pelham at Gracie Baja. So I knew. I was gonna say we're getting there. Go ahead and do it.
I don't know what
you got. You don't have a cue on. And for those of you that don't know, I mean, we got some Lane fans that probably watching this that don't understand, but Gracie Baja has a perception in the jiu-jitsu community that's not favorable, and that's the political way to put it. You go.
No, go ahead.
Okay,
No, go ahead. I'm gonna have the memes. I'm gonna have to drop the memes.
But they helped me out, right? When I didn't have anywhere to go or anywhere to train, they were still training, and so I ended up training with them, and ended up moving and training with them full time, and then ended up, we trained with them for 8 months, and no, not even 8 months. I trained with them for 2 months, and then got offered a job to teach full time.
So they're just trying to give you. Everybody's trying to give you a gym.
Man, dog. I was there. I moved in July 2020. Is whenever I started training with them full time. So
obviously they were open.
So
they were wide open.
No. They weren't wide open. We were behind closed doors in weird ways. But then everything started opening back up in August or September, and that's when I started working over there. Was October of 2020 is when I started teaching at Gracie Baja in Greystone, which was Frank's gym, and dude, that was fun though. I learned a lot there. Yeah. I can't hate on that, right? Like I can't be mad at
how it ended.
Teaching there, no, I can be mad at how it ended. I can 100% be mad at how it ended. Yeah. But like the journey there, right?
I'm saying you can be mad about how it ended, but not.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
I learned a lot from that. Yeah. You know, running a.
Hey, getting burnt. Listen, as much as you getting burnt,
sure,
getting burnt is the best thing that can ever. Hindsight, it's the best thing that ever happened. It motivates you.
You know, I helped Kurt run Cobra in Tuscaloosa a lot, and I learned a lot there. And then I ran the Wolf Pack for a short time. Right. I always say I've ran before Chelsea. I've ran. Let's see, Wolfpack, Cobra.
3. So now you've done 4.
Greystone, yeah. Chelsea's my 4th.
Yeah.
So I had 3 before this. Only one failed, right?
Yeah.
So, we were at Greystone. I was teaching, man. We ended up growing that program to 208 students before I left.
You started with what?
Started with like 130.
So you almost doubled it.
Yeah, it was wild, man. It was wild. We had a high retention rate. It was really a beautiful thing. And it was good, man. Those guys were the guys and girls that we had there were a great group of people. So, shout out to all those guys that are still training for sure. All those guys are great dudes. Yeah, and then Frank and I just had a falling out. Obviously, it was a rough one. Well, dang, hang on, you got to take that one.
No, go ahead.
I know you're an important person.
And then you laugh. I like how you laugh after that.
yeah. Well, you are an important person, but your agent's calling you right now.
No, we're good.
He said Jordan Peterson wants to do the next podcast.
I told him no. I've been turning him down.
Jocko's next week,
Trump.
right?
No, Trump was. They were trying to get Trump in right here. After JRE, and
I thought you were going to do a Kamala.
I said, look, man, I got to get. Yeah, well, we're going to get them both in.
Yeah, okay, I like it. We got the more mics.
That's all right. That's right.
Yeah, so we had that falling out, and then I kind of took a year away from everything and just floated and trained at 10th Planet and a handful of other places.
I didn't know that. So you went to 10th Planet? Okay.
Yeah. I was training with. I was training down at Ironclad when it was still an Ironclad, and 10th Planet was kind of getting formed, right? And so
shout out. He just
Matt Elkins. He just opened his own school in Crestwood. Moved out from Ironclad and now has his own thing, and it's a beautiful school, dude. Yeah, love his success, dude. He's such a great dude. But yeah, so we moved out, and about a year later, Anna was really pushing me because I was like, I've been floating, and I was like, man, I could just cash out that 401k and use that money to start it.
And you did.
I did.
Best thing I ever did. Yeah. And listen, real quick, shout out to the 401k.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I tell everybody 20% tax penalties I had to pay on that. Yeah.
Listen, I tell everybody. So when Nicole, she was working in the hospital whenever we had kids and we quit, and I think she had $7,000-8,000 in there or whatever, and I said, look, I don't care if they send us 10 cents. I said, I don't care if they give us 10 cents of the 10,000. Get the money out. I said, because you're never. First of all, we're never going to see it.
52 and a half, dog. 52 and a half is where you got to go to get to it. I'm not.
Listen,
no,
we're not going to see before inflation blows out. So the dollar's crashing. Get your money. Get your 401k out now. I'm giving you the advice. Go open you a gym or go blow it.
Start a business. Really, like
seriously.
Really, like if I could give anybody advice, start a business.
That you enjoy doing.
For sure.
You said, passion.
For sure.
Somebody was like, working. The best way to do it is work. From 5 to 9 before you're 9 to 5, and then when you get off, and it's like. You just got to struggle through it. And they said the best way, I think, is find something you love doing.
Yeah.
And pay for your passion or whatever, which is exactly what you're doing.
I work full time in IT and then pay for.
If you got paid, for the time you put in jiu-jitsu, you would be 1 cent an hour. Oh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, probably less than that.
But it doesn't matter because you're still going to do it. You know what I'm saying? So this is the beautiful thing about it is,
Dude, I heard.
That's why you'll be successful.
I overheard something today. We were down at that pumpkin patch, Anna and I were. And it's just it didn't register until just now, like how impactful this quote was that this guy said. It was one of the vendors. He's a woodworker, and somebody walked by and he was like, "Yeah, you work for yourself," and he goes, "Yeah, some call it cheating." Dude, that's huge, right? Because I mean, he's doing what he loves. Something he said to me whenever we were walking by. It was just, "Hey, how you doing?" "Oh man, I got wood shavings on my shirt. I'm doing great."
Yeah,
right, because he just whittles wood.
That's right. But what's even better than what we do, and obviously we're kind of in the same business, you get to help people.
For sure.
And you know why you're doing it.
For sure.
And so it's a wrap. Even with him, I mean, I'm not saying obviously doing something like that, but it's like a selfless act too.
Yeah.
Plus, you know why you're doing it, and you know what it can do for people. Same way with me is like, I don't sell it, I tell it. That's what I tell people.
Yeah.
You don't sell people when they come in the door.
Yeah.
You just tell them. Mm-hmm. You don't have to sell them, you tell them. And when they feel that on it, look, like I said, even what I do, it's not for everybody. I try to talk you out of doing it.
Yeah.
And obviously, just say if you're not committed, it's not going to work, right? And but if you are committed, to change your life.
Yeah.
And you got to decide: do you want to do this or do you not? I'm not going to beg a grown man to change his life.
No. It's in your
the same
hands.
way,
you make time for what you want to do, right?
That's right. And you got to have a purpose. And I know you're very intentional with stuff, and that's how I look at things. Like when I show up, when we go to jiu-jitsu, and Raylan goes in there, we're trying to have fun right now, but there's a reason why we're going. We're not, there's a reason why I'm doing this, why I'm keeping them plugged in.
You let her compete
I'm doing
one day.
everything. We will.
She gonna be
when she gets ready. The youngest
one
one's gonna be the one that's
we'll get her up
she's
in the
coming
crucible
in
before she competes.
So that's it. And make the plug on that real quick.
So yeah, it's not super official yet. We're trying to come up with a logo, but we got a traveling kids. Hopefully, it'll be a traveling kids camp. But right now, it's just out of Cobra, Chelsea. And it's the Crucible, and it's 2 hours, and it's right now I've dubbed it the hardest kids competitor training in all of Alabama. Might be the hardest kids competitor training in the Southeast. There's another school that does something similar. That's pretty tough too.
So would you be the John Danaher
of kids? Yeah. Probably not yet, but maybe one day.
Well, I mean,
maybe
one
day.
Well, who is?
I don't know. I don't think there is one right now. I say that there's a gym in California called AOJ. They have a monster kids program.
Yeah.
They do a lot they do really well a lot. But we getting there, Chief. We just started. We just started, man. We just started.
Coming to take over.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that was my saying whenever I started my gym. I didn't come to take part. I came to take over.
That's right.
To quote Conor McGregor.
Yeah, we didn't survive. Look, we didn't come to survive. We come to thrive.
That's it, dude. But no, so we got the Crucible, the Kids Crucible. Just keep your ears close to the ground for that one. That's if your kid competes in jiu-jitsu and you wandered upon this podcast, be ready for the Crucible. I put tally marks down for every kid that cries and every kid that throws up.
We're going to make some.
It got 90 degrees in that room yesterday.
Got hot.
90 degrees.
The pressure cooker.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's it, dude. Molding folks. Molding killed kids.
Mold or fold, baby.
Ooh, Lord, that's a good one. Mold or fold.
That's it.
I think I want to do something. Do you know anything about DEF CON? Do you know what that is?
No, a little bit. I know DEF CON 3, DEF CON...
No. This is a nerd convention.
Yeah, they all dress up. They all dress up, right?
No. This is a hacker convention.
Yeah. I know a little bit about hacking. I know enough to know that if I was a computer guy, I would be a hacker. And I would be in trouble.
Sure. Yeah. So DEF CON's the biggest hacking convention in the world, and it happens out in Vegas every August, I think. And they give it what happens is you can win what they call black badges at DEF CON, and you have to hack a certain thing, right? One of the village, they call them villages, is the different hacking areas. One of the villages is a social engineering where you have to spend 6 months building a reputation and a character, to call a company and try to get as much information, and you have flags that you check off of the information you got, and that's how you win, right? And you have a score based off the flags that you get, right? So I'm calling your company and I need to find the CEO's name, but I can only do it by talking to you. So that's a flag, right? Getting the CEO's name, but that's way more complex than that. You're trying to get proprietary information, right? It's just exploiting.
Now, what is proprietary?
Confidential information that's just for that business, right? So
what bank do they use?
Right? What bank or what are their methods for making their sodas, right? What is the secret?
You're trying to figure out,
right? You're trying to find the Krabby Patty formula. Man, I botched that one, right? The Krabby Patty. So
SpongeBob.
Yeah. So that's so if you win that, you get a black badge. A black badge allows you to come back to DEF CON every year for free, but it's also a very coveted, it's coveted, right? In the sense of everybody wants to get a black badge, right?
It's the black belt of the DEF CON, kind of.
Yeah, sort of. It's the black belt of hacking, right? If you can get a black badge, then you are the who's who of the hacking community. So I kind of want to do that with the Crucible, right? I think I want to make the black patch, right? So one kid out of the whole event gets the black patch, right? So he was the one that tried the hardest, made it all the way through. Sure. Maybe it's one kid a year.
Yeah.
1 or 2 kids a year. If they come to multiple Crucibles or something, I think that would be a really, really cool idea.
Yeah.
I
like it.
Where there's almost an achievement system in there now. Sure. That's not necessarily a belt or anything, but you're
getting a lot of participation from other gyms as well.
Yeah, for sure. So we have a kids program, but it's a homeschool class program, and it's very new. So I have one big competitor kid, right?
Yeah.
And she's placed at very high level tournaments, and this kind of started as an idea between me and her dad, really her dad, to basically get extra training for her, get competitor training for her. She also one of the things that he expressed is she needed to be a little more gritty, a little meaner,
100%.
Survive a little longer without panicking. And so this was kind of an idea that we came up with.
Yeah.
And we threw it together on a week's notice, and had 13 at our first event.
I thought you've done 2. Yeah, you've already done 2.
The first event we threw together in a week and did it, and then we threw this one together in 2 weeks. So we had 13 at the first event, and I think we had 17 at this one.
Really?
The first event we had 3 kids cry, no pukers. The second one we had 2 kids puke, and 5 criers. We had there's a high level kid that came, and when we were switching to the gi, so everything's in intervals, right? That's what makes the training hard, is I do everything in intervals, and they get breaks, constantly get breaks. Every 30 minutes or so I'll give them a break to go get water. But you get a very limited amount of time. We're not sitting down, we're not resting, right? You got 30 seconds to go get water and get back to your spot, right? Well, we were switching out, so I gave them 2.5 minutes to switch out to the gi, right? So they put their gi pants on, their top on, their belt on. The kid didn't bring his gi, didn't bring his belt. I had extra stuff, so we threw one at him. Dude, 3.5 minutes to put his pants on and get his top on and get his stuff. And it doesn't seem like a long time, but like when we're operating in an interval system, like, all right, you've taken some of my time now because you didn't want to hurry up and go. So now the whole class does sprints. So we did suicide sprints for that 3.5 minutes, and I got my 3.5 minutes back.
Got it back. You had to earn it back.
I got it back, dude.
Yeah.
He jumped on board and got in line right after that. But that's one of those things where, like, sometimes you spend too much time being the best kid in the room or the best adult in the room, and somebody's got to check you.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, that was a cool event. And the kid's a great competitor. I love that kid. I love his family too. They train at Tuscaloosa. So, but yeah, it was one of those moments where I was like, all right,
you gotta earn it.
We're gonna see who the boss is. Let's go. You gotta try to challenge me. Let's challenge. Let's play the game.
Call it out.
I love it, dude. I love it.
Yeah, for sure. Anybody can get it, right?
For sure. Anybody can. But like that's the way. That's kind of like the. There's training, and then there's training to compete.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you're coming to this, like the tone of the Crucible, it was dubbed that by the first group of people that did it, is that, man, this is tough. This is like a crucible, right? And so it's not the name that I gave it, right? This is the
that's just average training for golf. That's just the average day.
That's it. We just barely. There are adults, including myself, that probably couldn't make it through this training. That's how hard it is. I'm serious. Like I don't know if I could do it without the intensity, like the arrangement of how it's structured. Like it's tough. I used to do stuff like it, but dude, I don't know if I could do it right now.
Yeah.
And I know quite a few adults that couldn't. That would just be like, no, I'm not doing this. Yeah. You know? And so for those kids to make it through.
That's big. Yeah.
For those kids, some of those kids in this last one to quit, they had to quit to go throw up. And as soon as they got settled, I mean like threw up, cleaned up, like, okay, I'm alive. I'm okay. Everything's back on and they're back on the mats going after it. That's huge, right? Yeah. No, they don't train with me. They train at another school 20 minutes away from me.
Yeah.
So, like, that's a big deal, right? I love that kind of stuff. I love that these kids are growing from that stuff.
They're getting better.
Yeah, I had a saying that I kind of, when I was teaching at Cobra Tuscaloosa, it was like, if I could have an impact on the smallest of impacts on one kid's life that makes his life better or her life better for the rest of their life, I've done my job.
It's super easy because you already done that for sure.
That's what I'm trying to do.
That's it. I mean, showing up every day. That's what my coach taught me, and just watching, just showing your message. And that's why social media is such a big deal to me. You know, everybody talks crap about social media. But okay, well, listen. Well, here's the deal. Everybody's on it. Okay, everybody's on it.
My wife when she's giving me the side eyes making coffee.
Well, listen, man. Everybody's at it. Everybody's on it, and that's where you got to be if you want to make impact. Well, you don't have to make impact, but at the end of the day, it's a sword. Social media is a sword.
I think you can use it recognized. I don't know if it would be impact. I mean, I guess you could make impact with social media from social
media changed my life. Yeah. So,
really?
Yeah. So
how so?
A message, the message every day. So he showed up every day, watching what I do every day. First of all, there's a lot of people out here hurting. A lot of people out here hurting.
For sure.
You don't, and I'll say this: people that train, people that work out every day. I mean, even if it's CrossFit, even
those
if it's
guys
working
hurt
out
too, Chief.
No. I'm saying, but they have an outlet. Okay, you got community.
Some of them are still battling.
No, for sure.
Way bigger demons.
No, for sure. But at the end of the day, you got something to do.
For sure. They're
okay. So Cole,
right?
So check this out. You can't train. You got to be locked up and go to your job. Well, that's what I'm saying. No more training. That's what I'm saying.
There are a lot of tools in this room for me right now.
So you got to understand. So you're watching this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you're just watching social media. Well, you're not plugged in, but you're watching social media because you're on the phone all the time.
For sure.
And then they see you. Okay, well, this guy does this. Okay, he's showing this. This is a message. Boom. And they're watching. And then you said something one time. There's people that's watched me for 2 years, and they said, "Look, I've been watching for 2 years." Or I've had moms say, "Hey, look, my kid's been watching your stuff. Change their life. Just their kids watching the stuff. Working out."
I'm about to do this.
What?
Flearoy. Anyways, Flearoy has every time Flearoy's name comes up, we got an air horn.
Yeah, go ahead.
Flearoy has people like that where he's made those. He jokes around on his story on Instagram 100%. All the time.
I love Flea.
Yeah, for sure. I do too. Shout out Keegan. Anyways, that's his real name. He has a lot of people that follow him, and like he'll be out of town somewhere, and somebody random will walk up to him and be like, "Dude, I've been watching you for years, dude. You've gotten me through some hard times."
Yeah,
so no, that's 100%. That's
Yeah.
100% a real thing.
So you do have a big impact,
that's
right?
super cool.
You can have
I never
a
thought of it
stupid
that
one.
way.
Well, you could have I mean, obviously you post stupid stuff on there and have a stupid one, but
That's my Facebook page.
that's it.
Jiu-Jitsu memes.
Yeah. But I mean, listen. At the end of the day, be like I've said this. You can be entertaining, funny, whatever. Mix it up all in all of it. That's kind of what I try to do. I share memes, share funny stuff, I share my family stuff. Like you're trying to relate to people, right? And I know it changed my life, and so that's how I'm bringing. That's why I post all the time. Everybody's like, whatever. There's a lot more to it. I'm intentional. Listen, I don't like posting. I don't like showing my body with no shirt. I don't like doing it. Trust me, I wouldn't do it if I didn't know what it did for me, and I do it to help other people. I got we got 75 people right now that I'm coaching.
Really?
So,
you have that many people?
Yeah.
That's super cool, dude.
Yeah. Thanks for asking. Listen, we've known Cole for a while. Thanks for asking, Cole. We're learning a lot.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
Yeah, it's a big impact.
I didn't know how many people that you had.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you just started. I'd never asked. I just assumed. I guess.
For sure. Yeah, and listen, it's a. Look, if you go look at my page, I got 0 comments on some of my stuff. That's nothing. Look, I'm like Fleetwood. I'm like Fleetwood. No, I'm saying like you don't realize the impact of people watching as well. Like if you go to my Facebook, it'll be 500 people watch it and 2 likes and 3 comments, and then you'll get a DM. Hey man, this changed my life. Thank you for posting.
Hey, you could have liked. I could have liked it, Chief.
Well, when you throw, I know this too, man, as well. When I'm throwing serious stuff out there, because look, I throw serious stuff, I throw funny stuff. People, people are scared of what people think, so they're kind of they're scared of. And you don't realize this because what you do is intimidating, not for you, but obviously rolling around with a grown man on a mat, sweaty and that could kill you. That's intimidating for a lot of people. To you, it's another day.
I know.
I'm saying, but you have to realize this.
I don't know that I could bring myself to kill somebody.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
It would take an extreme situation, but yeah. There are people in that room that train with me that are going to make you feel like they want to kill you.
Yeah.
When they train with you, when they roll hard, but not everybody's that way.
Yeah, and also you what I've liked about you and how you do it, man. You call stuff out if anybody's uncomfortable. You're real big on jumping in front of that.
Oh,
and,
for sure.
You call out any bullshit you see as well, even with kids or
parents.
Cole takes nothing from. I mean, you're as chill as it gets. But like what I liked about you, and that's what I even told Nicole. Like if there's anything even questionable, it's handled. Like if you even think something's weird.
I'm an open book, Chief. You just asked. Let's talk about it, right?
Yeah.
I love talking about stuff. I really love talking about stuff and like trying to get to the bottom of things. But I don't like there to be assumptions in the room, right?
Yeah. Hey, yes.
I'm sorry.
Echo. You're trying to get a little. Yeah, you're getting too comfortable. No,
echoing?
I'm saying echo. Remember?
Charles, dude.
All right, I'm sorry.
Over my head, Chief. Over my head. Oh, God.
Right,
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I was just trying to enjoy myself, Chief. I'm sorry. I didn't know we had to make direct eye contact the whole time.
Well, listen, we're going to make some good clips out of this.
Yeah, for sure. Where were we?
I feel another banger coming. We're talking about you calling out bullshit. Like,
yeah,
I really appreciate that.
I don't like there to be assumptions in a room. I also don't like I don't like what?
Just it's so people that don't know you like just
I just let's get it out, right?
Yeah.
Right? Let's handle it and be done with it instead of like letting I don't like living in a phase of anger, right? I don't like having hate in my heart or anything. So like if there's ever like a build up of anything, let's handle it and move past it, right? So
and not even that, just like new people coming in. Like,
oh, for sure. Yeah.
I don't want to feel like this weird thing, like feeling safe. Like,
if
something weird comes in, people start acting weird.
We'll curb it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, let's do it.
But I mean, like, I just want a room where people want to support each other and have a good time, right? Everybody wants to achieve. Everybody wants to get 1%.
And that's not for everybody. That's what I tell people.
For sure, it's not. People
think they're good people, but if you want to be around people that's winning,
there's a lot of people who think they want to train and be humbled because that's what it is. Is your pride's going to get checked out of the gate, right? Your pride's going to get real hard checked out of the gate when you start training jiu-jitsu. And there are people who think they can live with that level of pride check and being grounded, like that ego check, that pride check.
See, I never had that. I knew when I was going. I'm just saying. I know what
not
you're saying.
everybody does, though. Not everybody does.
And I never did. I'm saying it. And the people there, I feel like I know people say that. I think the people there. 99. I think 90% of the people there never really. They went in. They're nerds. Most of them just nerds in there.
Yeah, I don't think there's. I don't think we have a lot of people. I have had people come in.
I know you have,
but I don't know that they're still there.
Yeah, it's not a weird thing.
No, and it shouldn't be. But there are people who can't live with themselves when they have to face a reality, I guess is the point.
I'm
going to
interject something ADHD coming here. Please explain to the people this, because obviously people don't know this. There's gyms with different levels.
Oh, okay. Yes.
And I want to explain that to people.
That's the expectations of the belts,
real
right?
Quick, this is not, you're not coming in getting your head kicked with blood MMA training, like bloody. And I'm serious, like,
I don't even have a full MMA. I have one MMA fighter, but I send him to another school.
Just say that real quick.
Like, yeah. You're not coming in and you're not dying, right? You're not gonna get mauled by like these big
BJJ 101.
Me, right? Like I'm not gonna maul you. I'm the nicest roll in the room on your first day. I'm gonna let you goof off and have a good time and try to figure it out, and I'll help you through it. It's really, the reason I say it's humbling is because you think you can get out of things, like situations, like if somebody's sitting on your chest, right, mount position, right, somebody's sitting on your chest, right, and you think you can get out, and then you realize that you have flexed every muscle in your body and you're just winded now. That's the humbling that comes from it. Not that you're going to walk in and be like, hey, I want to try my first class and I'm just going to hit you in the mouth. Like, that's not what's going to happen at all, right? It's an experience. It's a beautiful experience of training. And it'll be the most fun and the hardest workouts you'll ever get in your life on your first day.
I say this every time I go in there. By the way, I'm not a cardio guy at all. I hate cardio. But yeah, listen, guys, all you CrossFitters and all you marathon
CrossFitters like that.
Well, I mean, they do a lot of cardio. And then you got you got the David Goggins. Look, David Goggins is hot right now.
Who's carrying the boat?
Cameron Haynes shooting the bows, like they're running all the time. Guys, listen.
I hate running.
Listen,
I hate running so much.
And even the runners out there, they have an ego too as well. They think that they're gonna run, their cardio's hot. It's not. Get on the floor and roll with somebody. I don't care if you can run marathons. Get on the floor.
Life's a little different when you got a full grown person trying to fight, fully resist what you're doing.
It's kind of like being punched. What does Mike Tyson say when you get punched in the mouth? Everybody's playing. What is it?
Oh, everybody has a plan until they get hit in the mouth.
Everybody's got cardio until they start rolling.
Yeah,
and it's a different kind of cardio.
For sure. Yeah, well, everybody thinks they know how to fight until they get put in a situation where they have to figure out how to fight, right?
I never thought that, so that's not true.
Most people don't. Most people just.
I never thought I could fight. So.
I think they're, especially in the South, and I speak to the South.
It is a weird thing. No,
like,
for sure.
I think most men who are over the weight of like 180 pounds.
Thanks for discriminating, but go ahead.
Are you under 180 pounds? That's a choice.
No, I'm actually 181.
So yeah, there you go. And I said 180. I was trying to be like, it's bigger men, right? Bigger men tend.
Well, they said you got to be 200 to be considered a man. Is that true?
I think
what do you
so.
think?
I think so.
Okay,
I've been over 200 since I was like 12 years old, Chief. But I think at least in the South, and that men tend to think that they can fight because they're big. Do you see what I'm saying? Like.
Well, they also think they can fight
because high school boys come into
they
the
beat
gym
up their
recently,
cousin,
right?
or something.
Yeah. Well, they're terrified because if they hit you, they've got a lot more mass behind it, right? That's
not true. Yeah,
two swings, and even though we're both exhausted after two punches, like two swings of a punch, we're both
over.
So tired. If one lands because I'm bigger than you, it's got more mass behind it, it's gonna hurt, right? So, like, I think a lot of men feel that way, and then they get into a room. And they get put on their back against their will, right? They get taken down, right? They get taken down like from a standing position. They get put on the ground. Somebody's on top of them, fully resisting, right? And they're fully resisting, and they have no clue what they're doing. Like, that is a very tough mental situation to deal with because you thought you could fight. You thought you couldn't get thrown to the ground, and now you can't get up.
I'm going to interject real quick. How many people come in? Do you really think that? Because I'm serious. Like if you got 10 people, the new 2 people to come in, I feel like the people that come in are like really
probably like 1 in 20. I think
because they don't last any time.
10 years ago,
they never show up.
10 years ago, it was
a lot more.
It was the other way around.
100%. I can see that.
It was one came
because it was new, and they hadn't understood.
Yeah. I think now, though, everybody does research before they show up. They hit Google and try to figure out what it is.
People show up, come in with good intentions, I think.
See what my wife said. She's probably talking trash. The food is ready. The food is ready.
Listen, obviously the food can wait. What else do you want to cover? Anything else to cover?
Man, I don't know. We basically went through my life story on this. That's it. Right? What do you think about doing a video podcast once a week?
Yeah, well, listen, we didn't touch on Fleroy enough to really have your.
We'll have to do it again. We'll have to bring.
There's a lot more to cover. Appreciate everything you do
for sure, dude. I appreciate you having me on in the.
That's it. We've been trying to do this for like a year now.
Yeah, it's been a while.
When I first started.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Because a busy guy. But listen, every weekend, dude.
Every weekend in November, I'm out.
Yeah,
already.
For the whole year, you've been like crazy busy. So
this is the first weekend I've had free to do something that wasn't.
Yeah,
just absolutely. November, December is when I typically slow down, but November's full throttle for me right now.
Well, so we're gonna call it real quick. When are we going full time? Like, when do you see that?
Probably another 2 years, unless something wild happens.
And you're not even really pushing too hard, right?
Yeah, if I spent the money to put a sign up and then start,
I was gonna say, because listen, I try to push Cole stuff all the time, and I'm like, showing his stuff. I was like, I'm gonna do Cole a favor. I'm gonna start doing this and that, and then you realize, I was like, yeah, I'm good. Like,
I like the controlled growth, right?
Yeah,
I like the controlled growth. And I
actually like it too, and this is what I was gonna say is I feel weird. Like I don't even want you guys to come because it's like it's a good group,
show up.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like a good group and stuff. You know, a lot of people. But it is really slow organic.
This will be the last like hard topic I try to hit. How you build community? Yeah, for sure. How you build community, I think, is by building a culture, right? Culture.
Not
strategy.
Cult. Don't get
not
I'm
cult.
just playing.
Yeah. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. I don't know who said it, but somebody famous said it.
I'm sure Jocko said it.
And so like how you build community is based off of culture. And I need my senior guys and girls that train my 5, 6, 7, 8 year players in jiu-jitsu. Sure. I need them to be able to influence the culture that I want to exist in the room. And so how I do that is I slow the growth, right? I keep the growth slow. They understand how the room needs to work because like you said, I'm scary, right? Like everybody's intimidated by me. So my white belts aren't going to come to me out of the gate if they have something wild going on. They're going to go to the purple belt or the brown belt, right? The guys have been training 6, 7 years that know me really well. They're going to go to them first. And so I need those guys to kind of lead the culture. And if the growth is slow, I can mold that. And then they're going to build it. Does that make sense?
Very intentional. No, listen, right? That's actually how it is. I mean, it took me a year to even, like, he didn't want to mess with me because I was a Caucasian belt. So I'm lucky to get in here. I had to pay for this interview, yeah.
I had to pay for this interview. You guys didn't know he's getting belted to blue belt tomorrow. That's why we did this. The same belt as Fleroy Brown.
That's right. He's handing out wrestling. Yeah, well, and that was gonna be the last question. I was gonna say, what's your thoughts on calf slice?
That's the fakest move that's ever existed.
Oh my gosh! Listen, I can feel this, bro.
I clip that sentence to Flea.
Look in the camera and say,
Fleroy, your calf slicers suck, and it's a fake move.
I can feel the meltdown.
Oh man, he's gonna have a fit, dude. He's gonna have a fit.
All right, what about Kevin?
Kevin Buring? That's Flea's beef, not mine. He hates Kevin Buring. It's just Kevin Buring's just the dude. He competes a lot. That's Flea's beef. That's not my beef.
I just love it. I love Flea too.
Yeah, oh for sure.
Well, I guess this concludes before the women come in here.
Yeah, as I say, yeah. Here you go.
That's
it. We had a good time, right? I like your soundboard, dude. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll do it again.
For sure, we have to.